There's gotta be a way of killing it. How? How do we do it?
You can't.
You admire it.
I admire its purity.
There are few creatures in the known universe, and even the unknown, which boast a reputation as sinister as the alien organism known commonly as a xenomorph. The xenomorph is a creature that is as intelligent as it is deadly, making it a monster that should be avoided at all costs. If you ever find yourself unlucky enough to face this demon of the deep space, the knowledge contained within this guide will hopefully give you enough edge to escape, as direct confrontation will spell certain doom for most unprepared individuals. We shall begin by analyzing the physical characteristics of the xenomorph, as well as its complex behavioral patterns, followed by the best course of action should direct confrontation and elimination of the organism become the only option available. The appearance of the xenomorph can vary depending on the host in which the embryo is implanted. The human phenotype is generally around 7 to 9 feet in height and roughly 180 to 270 kilograms in weight, with a long muscular tail and large curved oblong head. The queen of this species is generally twice as large, although some queens have been shown to grow even larger, some surpassing 30 meters in height if given time. Queens also possess superior speed, strength and intelligence compared to their common offspring. However, most commonly encountered are the queen spawn, as a single xenomorph queen is capable of producing hundreds of healthy eggs in a short time if left uninterrupted. A xenomorph's physical appearance can vary widely depending on its life stage, hive, caste, age and host. Its ability to incorporate genetic material from its host, coupled with the existence of numerous mutations and deviations, which have originated naturally or artificially, makes the xenomorph one of the most phenotypically diverse organisms in the galaxy. A typical xenomorph begins its life cycle as an egg-like creature, known as an ovomorph or simply egg, which, when detecting the presence of a potential host, opens up to release the second stage, a small arachnid-like life form named the facehugger, which launches itself onto the host's face and impregnates it with an endoparasitoid larva. This parasite then consumes parts of the host from within and violently emerges from the host's chest cavity as a worm-like creature, grotesquely christened as the chestburster, which will quickly scurry away to find a safe place where it can molt and complete its metamorphosis into an adult xenomorph, which happens, surprisingly enough, over the course of mere hours. Adult xenomorphs tend to share some common traits: an invertebrate-like body, including a protective dark exoskeleton, a long flexible tail, an elongated domed head, and a toothed mouth hiding a secondary extendable proboscis-like inner maw. Little is known about their biology, but it is known that they eat with their inner or secondary mouths, not their outer mouths. This mouth is somewhat similar to the pharyngeal jaw of a moray eel. They also bleed an unknown and extremely corrosive fluid. This substance is dull yellow in color and often referred to as blood, although whether it's used to transport nutrients through the body and/or serves principally as a defensive mechanism is not clear. While the extremely corrosive fluids and tremendous resilience displayed by the creature might suggest an exotic kind of biochemistry, the fact that the xenomorph not only feeds on humans, but actually develops inside them, strongly suggests that its biology is carbon-based. The ability to inherit traits from its hosts also suggests that it incorporates genetic material from them, implying that the xenomorph either has DNA or is able to read and convert DNA into whatever means it uses to store genetic information. Xenomorphs operate in hives made of a resin they produce, mixed up with their saliva fluids. The queen can be generated in more than one way, from specialized royal facehuggers or maturing from praetorians, which in turn can mature from drones or warriors by a process referred as molting. Judging from the condition that any xenomorphs can potentially molt and grow into a praetorian and then a queen, the xenomorph species is likely all unisexual and reproduces asexually by a process called parthenogenesis, a reproductive method practiced by many species on Earth and other planets. Alternatively, it's also possible that the aliens are either hermaphrodites or practice sequential hermaphroditism, being able to change sexes during life, as is the case with some species of fish and amphibians. Most xenomorphs appear to possess an intelligence level equivalent to that of a typical primate. It's well within their capabilities to learn relatively quickly, gathering information and making advantageous use of their environment. Although they do not demonstrate human-level intelligence as a species, such as abstract reasoning, introspection, and technological advancement, their queen appears to possess considerable acumen in her social behavior and manipulation of human technology, such as cutting the power of the LV-426 colony and operating an elevator. While it may take considerable time for them to learn how to operate machinery, other xenomorphs have displayed fast reasoning and the capacity to find creative, counterintuitive solutions to problems, as exemplified by a group which, after noticing that they were being contained, intentionally murdered the weakest so that the acid of the xenomorph's blood would eat through the floors. As the adult xenomorphs are known to inherit physical characteristics from their hosts, it is possible that the intelligence level of the creature may be influenced by its host as well. Furthermore, being a new social species, the intellectual capacity may vary for each different caste. Xenomorphs have demonstrated little emotion, though they are not completely devoid of fear, such as when they are in the presence of fire, which they are vulnerable to. They have also been shown to communicate pain through shrieks or screams when attacked. It has been suggested that xenomorph nests may operate under a hive mind or a collective consciousness directed by the queen, who can call back and give orders to her subjects both telepathically and vocally with shrieks. In some cases, the queen mother xenomorph communicates telepathically with potential hosts, inducing terrifying dreams and religious visions, which may even lead to the formation of cults, with the xenomorph as a godlike figure, not dissimilar to the cults of Cthulhu and other such entities. The most famous example of this phenomenon might have been Walter Golik, who received supposedly telepathic messages from a captured xenomorph, which ultimately led him to release it and let it kill him. He called this xenomorph the Dragon and viewed it as a god. There is evidence that the xenomorph hive mind also includes a collective memory that passes along even at a genetic level. Through the tests conducted on USCSS Nostromo crew member Ellen Ripley, it is revealed that the memory passed from Ripley onto the new generation of xenomorphs allows them to read and understand different languages. Events on the LV-426 colony and the USM Auriga show that the species excels at observational learning. Another case of observational learning can be seen following a xenomorph escaping its cell. It had learned that the consequences of attacking the observatory glass was a jet of extreme cold, possibly liquid nitrogen, triggered by a large red button on the console. When a crewman entered the now empty cell to study the hole through which the xenomorphs escaped, one of them entered the control room and activated the button using its inner jaw. In the rare event that a xenomorph finds itself under attack or otherwise vulnerable, it will display incredible creativity and cleverness. They are capable of moving quickly and silently in ventilation systems, despite their size, and will use such conduits for ambush, escape, or simply as an easy way to travel between areas. Xenomorphs are conscious of the effects of their acidic blood and will use it to their advantage to break out of human-constructed confinement or as a weapon. They show some military tactics, such as retreating when overwhelmed, and can find ways to get around certain problems, such as pushing the red button to freeze a soldier in liquid nitrogen in the aforementioned incident. They know that the darkness is their ally and break lights to create cover. A xenomorph is equipped to be the perfect killing machine. They possess an exoskeleton much like that of a lobster, impenetrable to everything but the most powerful weapons. However, they are vulnerable to sudden, massive changes in temperature. It's been demonstrated that they can be destroyed by immersion in molten lead, followed by sudden cooling with fire sprinklers, causing their silicon shells to shatter. Attached at the ends of both of their arms are a set of long fingers and shiny, black, extremely sharp claws, capable of slashing through almost anything within their grasp. Their tail is long and flexible. Some, though not all, individuals also have ridges on top and a serrated toxic tip at the end of the tail to lacerate enemies. If all options of escape fail and one is left with no option but to eliminate this creature, the following is an outline on the best-known practices for engagement. However, listeners should take care to acknowledge and respect the extreme levels of intelligence and adaptability the xenomorph is capable of displaying. The The selection of weaponry becomes a critical determinant of success in this fight. Range weapons of substantial caliber or firepower provide a tactical advantage by permitting controlled engagement from a secure distance. The corrosive nature of the xenomorph's blood demands a careful selection of armaments and ammunition, excluding close-range weapons and weapons that could trigger an unnecessary profusion of blood before eliminating the creature, as the xenomorph is capable of losing several liters of blood before ceasing aggressive tendencies. Explosives, strategically deployed, serve as force multipliers, capable of shifting the dynamics of combat, particularly in confined spaces or when confronting multiple xenomorphs. Specialized suits or armor, fabricated from acid-resistant materials, could act as a crucial defense against potential exposure to the corrosive agent, enhancing the hunter's survivability. However, the potential benefit of this tactic is likely to provide only a minuscule advantage to the user's survivability, as the corrosive blood may only be slowed by a few seconds after contact with armor plating. Strategic engagement tactics demand a methodical approach to circumvent the xenomorph's innate predatory prowess. Maintaining distance is imperative, ensuring a measured response to the creature's rapid advances. Precision targeting of the head and joints becomes an essential strategy, albeit complicated by the xenomorph's agile movements and resilient exoskeleton. Coordinated attacks, orchestrated with fellow hunters, disrupt the isolate and eliminate mentality inherent in the xenomorph's behavioral patterns. Engagement with the aid of multiple attackers greatly tilt the odds in favor of the group against the creature. Environmental utilization, employing the terrain to control the engagement, necessitates an acute understanding of the spatial dynamics, exploiting obstacles and confined spaces to one's advantage, but maintaining even closer attention to how masterfully the creature may too use the environment to its benefit, such as navigating narrow spaces with remarkable speed. Effective communication among fellow hunters is also an effective force multiplier, allowing for the exchange of critical information regarding the xenomorph's behavior, location, and potential vulnerabilities. Adaptability is not just a trait to be desired in this encounter, but a survival imperative, demanding quick thinking and resourcefulness in the face of an ever-evolving adversary. This is where the extent of practical knowledge of a xenomorph ends. Should an encounter be expected, a dedicated study of this material is strongly advised, concluding that if extreme aggression is used in concert with a methodically tactical attack plan, you may just have a slim chance of coming out victorious in a confrontation with this most deadly of alien organisms.